all welcome to today's seminar. Our facilitator is Dr. Peter Hayibor, a professional lawyer with over 34 years experience, a social security pensions expert, a certified corporate secretary, and a corporate governance specialist. His expertise in pensions administration spans national and international landscape. Aside rising through the ranks to become the head of legal department of the Social Security and National Insurance Trust NEET, he had chaired many boards and special committees of public and private institutions. Some of these institutions include the Ghana Agro-Food Company GAFCO Limited, the Ghana Trust Holding Company NTHC, Amfuega Secondary School Board, SNEET Staff Second Tier Occupational Pension Scheme, Chief Technical Advisor and Member Inter-Ministerial Committee on Unification of Public Sector Parallel Pension Schemes in Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen, our facilitator holds an LLB, MBA, and a PhD in pensions and other professional qualifications. I have not finished. He is a member of the Ghana Bar Association, the International Bar Association, a fellow of the Ghana Institute of Directors, and member Institute of Professional Financial Managers. He is a co-founder of PJH Legal Consultants, a company which provides legal, corporate, pensions, and company secretarial services. In the global evangelical church cycle, he has been a presbyter since 1994 and a member of the Synod Committee for so many years, and currently, by virtue of his chairmanship of the Corporate Affairs Committee. Ladies and gentlemen, here seated and online, with a round of applause, let us welcome our facilitator, Dr. Peter Hayibor, Esquire.
Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I don't talk about myself. I don't talk about myself. This one. Okay. I don't talk about myself. So and I do. I do the things that I need to do. That's all. And so thank you, Gifty, for the introduction. What we are going to do this morning, we say that, what is the topic you mentioned? Preparation for retirement. Preparation for retirement. But I'm speaking to a Christian community. So I will say that it's preparation for retirement with faith. No, it's very important. And I'll try to explain why I said preparation for retirement with faith. Preparations for retirement with faith. Whether you are the richest person in the world or not, preparation for retirement must be with faith, because you do not know what will happen the next minute. There are certain things that you may have money, but money cannot buy. So the whole life of a human being is anchored on the Lord. He is the present, He was the past, and He is the future. He knows all things. Now, the Bible does not talk advise us about specifically about retirement, but the teachings of the word of God, the Bible, raises a lot of issues that tells you that there is a need to prepare and to plan wisely, to live your life wisely. And I'll mention one or two, and then we'll continue from there. The first one is that I'll mention is let's look at Proverbs chapter 21 verse 5. Proverbs chapter 21 verse 5 says that the plans of the diligent lead to profit as surely as haste leads to poverty. The plans of the diligent lead to profit. This one emphasizes the importance of diligence. Diligence in planning in our financial matters. That is that one. That's the Bible. So you must plan. That is important. And then the other teaching, that one you find in Luke 12, 16 to 21. That passage advises us not to be greed, have greed in things that we do things in an atmosphere of greed and self-centeredness. So you accumulate wealth. That is all you are interested in. You are working. You are a Christian. They said that you should save towards the future. So you won't give. You will not support anybody. So you are just accumulating wealth. That is also foolishness. And so you need to watch it. Now, I've mentioned already that God made us, and everybody has a purpose. So Ephesians 2:10 says that, for we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do. So this one, there's no limitation of age. So long as you live and you have life, you must satisfy this requirement. For we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do. This one has no age limitation. So from infancy, as you grow and you progress in life, and whatever work you do, you decide to slow down until the time that you die. This is important. That is God's purpose for us. It's very important. Now, the other thing that we can find, the only thing that is mentioned specifically about then Philippians 2:3 and 4. Philippians 2:3 and 4. That one also is also important because it advises us to be interested in other people also. We must help other people also. Do good. Help other people also. So preparation for retirement, which most of the time we talk about saving, accumulation of wealth, does not mean that you must not do these ones also. You must be interested in other people also. And the only thing that where we can say that specifically retirement is mentioned in the Bible is Numbers 8:23-26. Numbers 8:23-26. That is a passage in that describes the Levites retiring from active duties at age 50, but still being available for lighter work. They must retire at 50, but still being available to do lighter work. So even if you are in retirement, work does not cease. You continue to work. You yourself decide finally to stop work. So retirement is not cessation of work or stoppage of work. And this one you find it from what we just referred to in the Bible. You retire, but you make yourself relevant. Because at that time of retirement, you would have gone through life and the experiences you have acquired. Irrespective of the level at which you work, that one cannot be bought in any market or any shop. It is only you that have it. And those are the things society needs to continue to evolve and develop and avoid mistakes. So I'll ask you, what is God's compulsory age of retirement? What? No? Yes, that is one of them. Death. And then what again? There are just two. You mentioned one, rapture and death. That is God's compulsory age of retirement. That is God's compulsory age of retirement. So if you are not in any of those categories, it means that you still have something to do. You still have something to do. Now, most of the time when we're talking about these matters, retirement, preparation for retirement, people think that they are not old, so it is not a matter that they should worry themselves about. So they don't care. I was discussing something with the deputy director of Education the last time we were traveling and we were talking about. She came to me and I gave her materials about preparation for retirement. And then she went to the district office, spoke to the district director of education that they want to organize a program on preparation for retirement. She read the thing, prepared very well. The director said, "Oh, you are not even near retirement. What did you worry about?" So they just discouraged her and they never did it until she left that district. That is one of the problems that people may be. It is all because of lack of knowledge. Most of the things that we'll be talking about. And the way we are talking about this now, those who are doing their private work, self-employed people, they will think that they are not part of it. And that theirs is even the worst case. Those who are in private, self-employed people. And I'm going to give you, because I'm dealing with a number of them right now. Yesterday I was talking about it. There are two things. You have yourself as an investment. An investment is any asset that generates returns, including appreciation in value. So yourself, you are investment. You are an investment if you can generate returns. So it starts from you. You go through school. You develop yourself, and you have acquired some skills. So you can decide at that time you are an investment. You can do something. So you can decide to get a job, to be employed, where you work and you are paid. That's one. Or you can decide to start your own business, where you have to decide and then take a decision on your own. Now, any of the two options, either being employed or the one that you have decided to do, you need self-development. As you're developing yourself in the job to rise to whatever level, and also as you develop yourself, you also enhance your chances of earning more. The same applies to self-employment. But that is where the difficulty is. A lot of people think that once you start doing some work and you are earning money, that's the end of it. They don't have any vision for the work that they have started. You need to develop yourself. How to manage a business. How to grow a business. And your idea at that stage, do you want that business that you have started to grow, to become a legacy, to survive you? Or it's just a piece of work, that job that you are doing. You are earning money today, you buy a car, you have a building, you have all that, the money is here, so you are just working. I've seen many businesses. Most of you are here, you might have heard about businesses, people that started business, individuals, and along the line, that's the end of it. Only the names that I can remember, big names, people, because of lack of knowledge. They are just doing it. No capacity building. They don't understand anything, whatever that they are doing. If you are selling food service, somebody will just start a business to start selling cocoa at a particular point in time. And then after some time, he stopped. And if you ask them, they say people are not patronizing. Because of lack of knowledge. Why? Is that location the best for you? Location of your business. Location of your business. Is that location a good location? That is why we say in business that location of a business is a good one. It has a price. Sometimes the place where you locate the business is an issue. The ideas about the business that you are entering into, what you want to do, you have all that. If it is food that you are selling, you understand food service. How do you package? How do you go about it to attract people? Location of business. And the ideas about what you are doing. A lot of people don't know. They just go into it. And then when the business is growing, money is coming. How do you sustain that business? How do you expand that business? How do you grow that business to become a legacy that will survive you? Because you do not know when you will die. The money is coming now. You build houses. You are taking care of children. All kinds of things. You are giving money. But do you know when you will die? You can live for the next 50 years, 100 years. If you don't develop that job that will take care of you in retirement, when you are old, you cannot move. You might have done all those things, but you become a pauper because you don't know when you die. So you must plan succession for that type of business. And that's the issue I'm dealing with now, and I realize that is common in the self-employed people. That's what I'm discussing now with a lady, highly educated engineer. She has been a celebrated name in Ghana. Even University of Ghana awarded her a PhD, a doctorate just as an honor, because she was even supporting the university. Now she's 88 years old, but she's still working. She will not leave the business. She trusts nobody. Not even her children. Not even her husband. Last month, early this month, they took me to the factory. And I walked around. The factory is big as your compound here. The industrial machine, modern. There's nothing there. Just few people working. Just holding on to the business. They find fault with everybody. Business that provides opportunity. Even the court complex, the commercial court in Accra, she provided all the furniture, that company. The Court of Appeal complex in Kumasi, she provided all the furniture. But now she's old, she can't move. And she doesn't trust anybody. So I was introduced to her that I can guide. So I sat her down and took her to the process of business management. How you create a business, how you develop it as a self-employed. And you realize she was green. She should have met you earlier. You should have spoken to me earlier. She realized that no, there's a problem. And that she didn't do the things well. But she's still holding on. We decided to employ somebody. We paid a ticket fare. The person arrived last week, Monday, to take over the plant. When the guy arrived and saw the machines that were available and work was not going on, she felt so sad. I prepared the terms of contract just to sit down and agree on the terms we were discussing. I realized that she became resistant. 88. You can't go and buy raw materials. She trusts nobody. So now, because she can't go and buy the raw material, nobody should go and buy it. I said that we went through the process. All the things that we need to agree upon, some of the things that we need to provide for the man to work, she's not ready. So yesterday they called me that the man wants to leave. They bought the man's ticket. It's gone. The company is still there. Now, that is just one. So when you are self-employment, you must prepare. Some people, they put themselves in the name of people who have to contribute social security, so they are also part of the workers. So they contribute. I have a one like that have done it very well. So when he was 60, he applied for a pension. He was taking his monthly benefit and still operating the business. Now, he also didn't put in a structure. I don't want to mention it. You know the people. Some of the location. This was just there. Done so much. Huge thing there. The man passed. And then the children started fighting. Nobody has been prepared to lead. I tried whatever I could. Meet all of them. We discussed. They're still fighting. Now they are in court. 5 lawyers. One from Kumasi Road. I wash my hands. I'm tired. I cannot continue. So they are in court fighting. That business will be destroyed. Another one is here, just here. A doctor. He also put up his own facility, surgery, everything. None of the one became a doctor. They didn't work with him because there was dispute. This one here, they started fighting. The hospital has been sold, even though one is a doctor. He has set up his own, and he's there. So those are some of the challenges that when you are a self-business, developing that business to become something, and I would leave you so that you can make something. Sometimes also the children disappoint. That's what the angle I want us to identify. So when you are in a self-business, even after here, when you set up a business and your child is there, let the children be interested. Drive them to be part of it, to know the business, strategies, to know the business model that to understand, to know all the things that you are doing. Draw them. It is not all of them that may be interested, but you can generate the interest in some of them. You can identify some of them as people who can lead. You realize among your children that this one, when we ask them to do anything, he makes sure everything is done, or he goes even beyond. That is a leader. Or somebody that always tries to innovate, add value to the family, do something. You will find you can identify them and know the talents in them, and then help them to grow those talents so that the business can continue. Self-employment, because you are also part of it, as we'll see shortly. So you need to understand that. So whether you are working for somebody or you are on own, you are an investment, you develop yourself, you start any knowledge building is important. And then make a decision that is where I want to go. so that you can proceed and go to that direction. So as you are going, making an investment, the money is coming, you must continue to do other investments, and you proceed from there. So I do not want to talk about investment. Most of the time when we are talking about retirement project, we are starting with the first one. I just want us to pick ideas about some of the things that people say about retirement, and for you to think about it and see whether they are true or not. No, not this one. The first one that I indicated to you, retirement in Kenya. Kenya's story I want us to share. Are you there? Yes, this one. Expand. This is retirement in Kenya. You say that retirement in Kenya is no longer a milestone. It's a crisis. One of the most unsettling patterns we are seeing today is this. Then the story forward. People retire and then immediately start looking for another job. Why? And not because they love work. They're not looking for another job because they love work. No. But because they can't afford not to find another job immediately. We have sold this idea that retirement planning is just about saving money. That's what we think. Retirement planning is just about saving money. That is the general idea. That's what people think. But that is not. We'll look at it and see whether that is true. That if you contribute to a pension fund, or there's something called SACCO consistently, you'll be okay. So if you belong to SNIT and you are contributing monthly, then you are okay. It's not true. And I'll prove that one to you today. Because as you are here, I won't say that one, but when I am going on, we'll see. But here, the reality, these are the here, but here's the reality. No one talks about, this is the reality that we don't talk about, this one. Most retirees are not financially ready. They're not financially ready to retire. Because life continues, to continue to live, you need cash flow. Cash flow. Because you have a life. For 30, 40, 45 years, you have lived a particular lifestyle. And it's all dependent on cash flow to move. And then you are going home. And you know that immediately you go home, there's stoppage of regular inflow. So how do you continue? So they are confused. That is the issue. Now, we'll get more explanation. Most never build a business. This one is important. Most never build a business. Skill or system that could sustain them. These are very important. You never build a business or skill or a system that could sustain them. And it is the decision is now. Immediately you start working. That is when you start thinking about this thing and planning towards this thing. Then the next one is that most were never taught that retirement planning is more than just saving. Not more than just, I'm a member of SNIT. That's a lot of people, that is their thinking. I contribute towards SNIT, so that is okay. It's more than just saving. It's about preparing. It's about preparing. So the first one is preparing your mind. Preparing your mind. We're told that one of the chief justices retired, a new one was appointed, and the following morning, it was a Monday morning, he woke up and dressed up that he was going to the office. They said, oh, sir, you have retired. he is dead now. He died. He has retired. Because the whole of his life moved from various parts of the country as a judge, from the north to Brother Hartford to Western region to Accra to various. That has been his whole life. And then you woke up Monday morning. Over the weekend, we would have prepared judgment, read all kinds of things. It was ready. The police escort would be there. I said, oh, sir, you can't go now. You have retired. So preparing your mind. And then preparing your skills. preparing your skills, and preparing income sources outside of your pay slip. Because the pay slip will stop. So how do you continue? So when you are prepared, cash flow. When the pay slip stops, you know where to continue. Now the strategy is this. You dedicate 30 years plus to a job. And when it is over, you live with fear, not with freedom. Why should you be afraid? Why should there be uncertainty? Why should you be afraid? Or why should there be uncertainty when you are living? After working for 45, 50, 30, 35 years, you must feel that it is freedom. And that can only come when you are prepared. You prepare your mind, you prepare your skills, and prepare where you are going. So, because no one told you that you feel you are afraid or have the uncertainty because of this, no one told you to build a second stream of income whilst you are here working. To start a small business while employed. Learn a digital skill to remain relevant even after retirement. Or use your salary to build systems, not just to survive. Not just to survive. Now, when you are talking about these things, people will imagine why I'm working. Every day I have to wake up at 8 o'clock, at 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 5:30, come to work, and close late and go back. So what other work should I be doing? What other thing that should I be doing? But there are a lot of things that you can think about and that you can start doing whilst you are earning regular income. So, and now we are seeing a generation that is they have technically retired, but are still applying for jobs because they have no other option. So let's shift the conversation to another dimension. That retirement shouldn't feel like exile. It should feel like elevation. So we look at retirement as a stage in life. You have seen it all. You are moving to the next stage of life. A stage of life that you eventually become like a consultant. You have seen so many things about life. So that is where you become even more relevant to society. And at that stage, people will not come to you because they think you are tired. It is you that have to make yourself relevant. Sharing the knowledge that you have acquired. Helping to shape the young ones. And those of us in the church, for example, that is an opportunity to serve in the church. To do a lot of things, to support church administration, to support church group, because you have all the skills. And once you are doing that, you are serving God. And God will not forget about you. Whether the pension money that is coming is small or not, God provides to continue to provide for you. Because you are doing His work. And for what we read in the book of Ephesians, chapter 2, verse 10, your purpose is to continue to serve Him and to serve humanity. So He will not look back upon you. He will continue to provide and sustain you. So start now. Don't start now. While you are still working. While you still have time. Because depending on your salary to carry you into the next 30 years, it's a gamble and not a plan. Because when you retire at 60, you can live for the next 30 years, 40 years. Somebody is over 90 years now, close to 100, he's on SNP pension. You're still paying him. So you don't know when you die. You can, and there's more improvement in the health conditions and things like that. So people are living longer. People are living longer. People are living longer. And that is why we have to take some of these matters seriously. In our country, people were just having children. We're having children. A lot of them. So we say Africa has a youth population. We talk about it. That's a pride. Youth population. Now people are reducing the numbers. You come from school, you don't find any work to do. 5, 6 years, 4 years, no work. What do you think about marrying somebody to go and have children? And those who are even working now, how many do they have? 2, 1, maximum 3. You will see the pattern. That's what is going on. So, the 2015 International Labour Conference, this year will be held in Geneva. A study was conducted on Africa. And then based on these things are some of the things that we are discussing now. And then it was established that the way that the rate at which the population is declining is declining. It is. It is estimated that by 2050, the population of the aged to the youth will be 4:1. 4 young people supporting one aged person that is above 60. So the problem of aging that we have in America, in Europe, in Germany, and all the other places where you have a lot of old people, and the young ones, the number is low because you have low birth rate, but increasing longevity of life. So people are living longer. I went for a program in the UK, and at that time we were looking at a scheme. There were over 1,000 people who were more than 100 years old on the pension scheme. There were over 1,000 of them who were about 100 years old, but they are still living. Some will walk around, you see them. And so we are also getting there. We are getting there. So the problems of aging is there. And what it means is that, so if you hear about American green lottery, it is not free. Those are strategies to get young people from other parts of the world to come into the economy and work and pay the taxes so they can support the old people. The same thing, that is what Europe also opened up for certain type of classes of professionals and young people, nurses, all kinds of people move into Europe to work. That is the purpose. So we have more people from other parts working because they are not giving birth to children, they're low birth rate. So more people from the other parts will come and work, they pay their taxes and support the system so that you can continue to pay pension to the old. Germany also does it, but some of them are discriminatory. What they do is that they prefer colored people. They don't like blacks. So the Filipinos and other people, they go there. Dubai also has that. People go there to work. They have just started some artificial, a lot of things, but they prefer the colored people, even in the hotels. They prefer colored people to blacks. Those are just part of, so it's a dynamic, it's what we are discussing. What I want you to know is that it's a dynamic in all the world over. Every day we are talking about pension, how to sustain it, how to improve it, how to do this. And that's one of the reasons why I become very much interested in, because I realized that in our country, the level of knowledge was so low. So we need to acquire knowledge and do some of the things. So that is just the background. That is why you know what is going on, basically. So we'll go on, David, the main slides now. Let's go through those ones quickly. Now, God asked all of us from creation that we should work. He gave us all the earth, that we should till the land. We should do whatever. But he also gave us guidelines to go by. So work is necessary. Work is a necessity. You must work. That is why the Bible says that if you do not work, you must not do what. You must also not eat. So you need to do some work. You must do some work. That's very important. But you find that even though in life, there are various things that happen. Some of them are stages, events of stages in life. Events of stages. When you were born. After some age, you must go to school. And it's expected that by a certain age, you complete education. And you must start work. At a point in time, you become an adult. So you can take certain decisions. And in the church also, we classify them from children to teen, to youth, and to adulthood. So at every stage, there's some responsibility. And there's something that you need to do. So those ones are known. So they are events in the stages of life. So those ones you can plan. You know when you go to school. You know when you become an adult. You know when you complete work. When you start working. When you should get married. Around those ages, you should be able to predict. And then when you go on retirement also, you know. So those are events of stages in life. Events in the stages in life. These ones are different from events of life. Events of life are things that happen that you have no control. For example, do you know when you fall sick? Can somebody say that when you next fall sick? Or when you die? You can't tell those ones. Or that somebody will have an accident. Sometimes it can be revealed, but not all. A lot of events in life can happen. Those are contingencies. So when those things occur, something happens to you, either a life you lost, or you lose income, you lose property, you are destabilized, you grieve. Some will suffer depression. Those are events of life. So some of those things, some of them that you know, those that are known, you can plan for those ones. But those that you do not know, it's in the hands of God. So those are things that happen to man. And so, roll the slides. So those are the things that happen to life, and that is what society realized from the very beginning of life, that those are things that happen, and there must be a way that you can have a measure or an arrangement to provide for them when they happen. There must be some intervention so we can continue to live a comfortable life. Those are the things, and that is where the idea in our traditional society, you realize that in the family system, in the past, there are family properties, there are assets, there are farmlands, and the family was big. All the people are living on a compound. So those people who don't have children, the family cares for them. You cook, you give to them. Those who are orphans, the family take care of them. You cook, you give to them. You give them to somebody, an uncle or an auntie to take care of them, to grow. If somebody is sick, the whole family, everybody will have to do something. And then if somebody passes away, the whole family will contribute to support. And then make sure that person, because when some of those things happen, where do you even get money to go and buy a coffin or to go and do this? So that is the traditional social security system that existed in our villages, in African culture. That's what we have before the coming of the white man, and then that also brought about urbanization and industrialization, where we begin to move into the cities. Industries are open, and we all concentrate to work in the factories, in the mines, and various places. So we left the villages to assemble ourselves in the cities, and we create cities, urban communities, and we are there. Now you don't have any family in the urban community. So if you are sick, who will take you to hospital? Or if something happens to you there, how do you survive? Because if you are not working, you must not be paid. But for law, if you are sick and you don't go to work, you must not be paid. But for law, if you have during maternity, you must not be paid because you are not coming to work. It is the intervention of society and law that provides those things, but it must be paid for because the person is still employed. That is how those things come about. So, and when the urbanization started, that is why human beings started coming together. No, we have lost the traditional system of social security. Where do we go? So that's where they started coming together to form this arrangement to provide for themselves. So that if something happens, you are sick, the employer provides for you. You also provide something. You set up a scheme. You do this so that life will continue, even though those events start. So that is how the whole idea came. And as it evolves, it was picked up at the international level after United Nations was born, and it became an international matter that ILO, that is the wing of the United Nations, pick up around the world. So that is how the whole thing came about. And America moved very far. America passed a law in 1935, the Social Security Act. That is where the Social Security, the word of Social Security came about for the first time. And it became issues around the world. So it is something that affects every home and everybody. So it's dynamic, people are talking about it. And preparation for retirement starts when you start working. So you must have ideas about it. We have been proposed that it should be in the schools, social studies. You must know that there's something that is called retirement, that is called social security. So when you are working, you have those ideas. So by the time you start working, you know that there's something also like that. So these are some of the things that we talk about, and they are provided for state involvement, other voluntary organizations, and friendly society, sometimes in the church. That was the way that informal social security started in the churches. So the purpose of preventing the things that we have mentioned, events of life, stages of life, or events of life, that brought about the idea of providing the social protection. That is measures that will provide some cushioning for a human being when it suffers any of the things that we mentioned. And so it is done through Social Security. One of them, Social Security, issues of men and children, labor and labor market conditions, issues of disaster and vulnerability. So in our country, you have the pension schemes there. You have issues of women and children. You have the Ministry of Women and Children providing some intervention. Labor and labor markets, you have the various unions and employers associations. And then issues of disaster and vulnerability, you have the disaster national mobilization organization that intervenes anytime there is a disaster or some people are vulnerable. Those are the arrangements. So a package of things to make sure that you live as a human being, as a dignified person, irrespective of your circumstances or whatever that happens to you. Those are the ideas. Generally, these things that I mentioned there. The society tries to provide something. When any of those things happen, you lose money. It is not only money, but you also suffer some form of disadvantage. So employment injury, if you are working and you suffer injury, it must be taken care of. Unemployment, if you are working and then all of a sudden you lose your job, or you are working like the people that we have, they are of age, but they are not working. They must eat. So unemployment benefit. They must be paid some little money so that they live. And then maternity, when you are on maternity, you are not working, but you are home. More trouble, more responsibility. So it must be helped. And then sickness, when you are not well, you cannot earn money. So there must be some intervention that will pay you while you are sick. The invalidity, where you are working, but all of a sudden something happened and you can no longer work. You are rendered invalid, either mentally or physically. But you will live. So there must be something that will provide for you to continue to live so long as you are alive. Then old age, that is retirement after 60 years. In our country, after 60 years, people retire. That is from formal work. So you don't have regular flow of income. So you have lost income. How do you live for the rest of your life? Society must provide a means by which you continue to live. That is the pension system that we have. That is this one. And then also when somebody is dead, you have dependents. Either your parents or new people, they are under you. So when you are no more, a breadwinner is lost. So those who are behind, how do you take care of them? That is those who survive you. So after death, there must be something that should go to those who you left behind so they can also continue to live. And then family assistance, that is another one. That family assistance is to encourage you to bring more babies, to make more babies. China, for a very long time, there was a law that you can't have more than one. So that has been practiced over the years. And it got to a point where Chinese cannot find even wives in China to marry. That is a reality. Over 10 million could not get anybody to marry in China because they are not there. The women are not there. And they don't want to marry blacks. So they were interested in other colored people. I do a lot of work with international Chinese organizations, so I have fair ideas about them. Now they have relaxed the law that everybody should have two, but even that they are not doing it. Everybody is comfortable with the one. That is all you can take care of. So a policy decision has been taken this year that government will provide, bring the thing back, that is the family assistance, this one. Government has now decided to pay money for every additional child that you have to take care of them. So you have to pay money to you. And those who already have, if you fell from this year, they mentioned the date. So if you have a new baby now, government will start paying you. And then those who have already have those children, even before the new law is coming into force, they will give them also a percentage to take care of the new one, just to encourage them to have more babies, because they are now suffering a shortage of labor. And they don't want to import black people to come and occupy their country. So they are now decided to use this policy to let people have more babies. That is what is going on right now. This week even they announced it. It was in the news. They talk about it. This is what they are doing. They're just using this tool to do that. Then healthcare, providing for healthcare. If you are sick and you don't have money, where do you go? Or the facilities that you have to go to. So all these ones are supposed to be provided for when these events occur. Some whilst you are strong and some when you are in retirement. That is what society has put together to provide, to ensure that there is dignity of human beings everywhere that they find themselves. And so it's an international matter, it's an international affair that concerns every home, and society is looking up to. So those are the things that you need to know broadly. David, you have to be watching me. I've talked about a lot of these things already, that retirement is a major event. So retirement is not a destination. Retirement is a process. Retirement is a process. So when you lose your work or when you retire. So let's say that, so what is retirement? All that we have been talking about, retirement. Retirement is just a compulsory stoppage of work. You are no longer under compulsion to wake up at 7 o'clock or 6:30 and go to work. Stoppage of compulsory work. Stoppage of compulsory work. That is retirement. It is not cessation of work. It's just stoppage of compulsory work where you don't have to wake up and go and pressure all those one now. Slow. No. You continue to receive the compulsory money where, for example, the pension system that we have in the country is universal. Then once you fall within that class compulsory, you must be paid. So that will not go there. It is work, what you do, that you are retiring from. You are retiring from and retiring to. Look at this. You must retire to something. That one is very critical. You must retire to something. So retirement is a continuation of life and therefore requires that one must prepare. It is another stage of life. It is an elevation. So what you must prepare requires that one is prepared psychologically, emotionally, mentally, and financially for a successful, productive, and optional life in retirement. It requires preparation. That's what we are looking at now. It's not fast for me, though. So it involves financial and non-financial issues come up during so we will look at some of them. Number one is that, so preparation for retirement, we are not only looking at money. Most of the time we just talk about money. Savings. No. You saw the Kenya story. It's not only savings. You can have the money there, but you'll be miserable if you are not prepared. So what are you retiring to? Those are the issues for consideration. What are you retiring to? You retire to something. You don't retire and then go and sleep. Retire to something. So as we all hear, what are you retiring to? What are you retiring to do? Because we are saying that is a continuation of life. Where are you retiring to? That you have to be thinking about. Having something to retire to or look forward to is important. So if you don't have anything to look forward to, you don't have anything. You're not retiring to anything. Then that is why immediately you start writing application for a new job. Yes, that's what you do. That is the Kenya story that we have read. It is all from here. What are you retiring to? They have none. That's number one. Then you must retire into a home. Where are you retiring to? Where are you going to live? Are you going to rent? Or you go to the family house? Or you return to your village or hometown to go and stay? Or you self-acquire your own house? That is a decision you must make now as you are working. Where are you? You must retire to a home. And then the appropriate timing for your personal development, marriage, and childbearing. These are critical. Immediately you start working, what kind of personal development do you need? This is the career that I'm engaged in. What are the career prospects? If you are doing your own job, if you are working for somebody, what are the career prospects? What opportunities can I develop myself so I can also enhance my income and get and climb the ladder? So you can also do outside investment and start doing something else for yourself. It's important. And if it's a private job, self-employed, what capacity do I need for this self-employment? managing a business, governance of a business, expanding the business, customer service, human resource management, basic principles that will help me to grow this business and protect it, to become a legacy. Those are the things that you need to be thinking about your timing when you do those ones. And then marriage. That one, everybody will marry. When are you going to marry? Have you decided? Is it in your mind? Or you are just there? One day you wake up, then they say, oh, I'm going to. Or somebody tells you, you two are old, go ahead and marry. It is. they are all part of preparation for retirement. Because if you don't get the correct one also to marry, you are dead. You are, you are dead. Every time you are working, you are in trouble. It will even affect the rest of the planning. And if you get there and your retirement and the person that you are in the house, there's trouble. You will die early. Because that is the time that you are going to stay and see the person more. Face to face. Some of the things that you do not know, this is the time you are going to. This is the time that you are going to know those type of things. Now, so then you come to childbearing. How many children, and when? Because if you are old, you are 60 years old, then you have now started giving birth. Or when you are 55, then you give birth to the first one. At the time that the stoppage of, sometimes when you are working, you know when you have children, they pay school fees, educational allowance, educational loan, all those things to support you to take care of the children. A lot of people do it. And then you are out of work. You have now started. How are you going to take care of them? It happened to one of my cousins, and his case, it was not he got married. The person that they were all over, he was even a pastor. They went to. He retired, and then unfortunately the lady passed on. Then he decided now to marry somebody. It was then that he started making babies. And so all of us have to support. Sometimes we'll call you. They'll call you. But they're very brilliant children. One is the nurse now, the other one is a teacher. And so these three things, they're important. It is now. And then if your satisfaction or meaning to life or after work activities revolve around work friends, what will be your substitute in retirement? Now, we spend 40, 30 years at the workplace. So all your friends are at the workplace. Everything. Your life is driven by the workplace. Your identity is also with the work. You are identified by the work that you do. You are a banker, you are a lawyer, you are a pastor, you are an accountant, you are a doctor, you are this. So that is you. That's your identity. Now you are going on retirement. You are not going to do that work. Even if it is a self-work, you are going to stay at home because you are no longer active to work. So some people feel uselessness. I'm no longer important. I'm no longer important. And we'll be looking at the stages of retirement, the things that you feel. And that is why knowledge at this time is important. That when you get to that stage, you say, well, this is a normal part of life. This is the way I must behave. Now, so this one, so if your friends are all at the workplace, now you are living. When you go home, who will be your friend? Is it the trees or the chairs in your home? In your home? That is why building your family throughout life is important. Your family network. Your immediate family, particularly your children and your spouse. If you are managing director in the office, in the house you are a daddy. You are not a managing director. So if you think that you are a boss in the office or someplace, so in your home too you are a boss, then the day will come where you will sit in the corner. You are a boss alone. All those people that you did not record, your children, your spouse, that everybody must be, you are boss. You'll be a boss there, in the corner. Nobody will come to you. Your children will not come and sit with you and engage in discussion because you did not show any concern, any interest. Like their friend, a colleague that you can move along with anything. They come and tell you, they confide in you. Once it is daddy, it is daddy. That is all. They have confidence. So from the beginning to wherever they are, when they hear your voice, they know that, and so whatever happens, they will run. It's daddy. It's mommy. Building that relationship. That's the first thing. And then people that if you are going to retire to go to your village, back to your village, then you must be thinking that the people who are home there, you must be very cordial with them. You must build that social network there, so that if you go back to your village, you can relate with the people. So these are very important things. Those are things that people miss. The workplace discussion, the workplace friends. And you are living, you will live. After 40, 45 years, it will happen. Where are you going? What will be a substitute for these networks, social networks? Just are matters that you need. So if you do not have, that is where you start applying for. You start writing application. Those are some of the things. That is why it's more than just savings. David. That's why it's more than just savings. Now, let's look briefly at some definition. People say that people have various, and those are definitions, you learn a lot of things from them. That's what I want us to look at them quickly. Now, one person says that retirement is a time that marks the passage from a life of work to a life of accomplishments. So what did you accomplish whilst working? That's what you must be thinking about it. And then a lifetime of leisure and choice, as most people feel defined by their job. So if you work throughout and you do not excel, you do not achieve anything, you do not do anything, what fulfillment? Even if you sit down to reflect, I also make a contribution. As most people feel defined by their job, that is what we are talking about. That transition is not always easy. That is moving from where you have identified yourself, work with into the next stage. It's not easy. That's what the one person said. Then another one said that retirement is the withdrawal of individual. This one, can you expand this one? Yeah. David, is it possible to enlarge? Is it possible to enlarge? You can't. This one too is not touched. Mine is. Yes, that's a difficulty. Okay, now let's go on. Retirement is the withdrawal of individuals from work during the later period of life, which is associated with reliance on pension income instead of salary as the main source of support. Retirement is a stage where the individual is supposed to rest after many years of active work while benefiting from guaranteed basic social security. That is some person's view. It's a period of rest. It's a period that you take pension because you no longer get active salary. So that is one person's view of it. This is another one. Retirement is a time to rest after many years of engaging in physical activity. That is true. Then another one, most people perceive retirement as a disadvantage and losses, and the period is shrouded in financial fears and worries about how to cope and leave family members unburdened. That one is true. People think about it. But it all depends on preparation. Preparation. Then the next person, this one is Mr. Henry there. He said that most retirees heavily depend on their family members, thereby becoming a burden on them. Now, we had this situation in Ghana where before 1991, apart from the Cap 30 pension that those who work under government Cap 30 were receiving monthly pension, all the others who were part of Social Security were paid lump sum. So at the end of the working level, they calculate the money and they give it to you. That's your life. So you carry how you are going to manage it. You are going to live for the next 50 years. How are you going to manage this one? To take care of your 50? At that time, even there's no financial education. There's no financial education. Then investment environment was also not well grown, where you have financial asset, financial instrument. Most of the time, it's lack of knowledge. People are not taught how to manage money. Financial knowledge was not there. So you collect it, you go and eat it, and you die. Then, if you don't die, then you become a burden on the family. People will insult you well. because it's now that when they cook, they say, instead, they have to go and give you they have to go and give you also something that is there. You know. and you reflect and remember who you were, the opportunities that and that is what you have become. So it can be a very, very serious matter. That is why preparing when immediately you start work is important. Now, another person also says that without the daily routine of work, without the daily work that you wake up daily to do, retired workers lose structure. When you retire, you just stay there in the house and you sleep. You don't prepare anything that you retire to. That's what this one is talking about. Without the daily routine of work, retired workers lose structure. They lose social interaction sense of purpose, social interaction and the sense of purpose, loss of professional identity, loss of income, and loss of lifestyle. Those are the things that you lose. They are true without preparation and planning. These issues cause workers to become anxious about how well they are going to survive during retirement. Despite these fears, some perceive retirement as an avenue to experience freedom from the exertion of work, stress, tax, and time constraints. That is another person's view about it. Then this one. Retirement should therefore come with a sound and well-planned income security packages. And this is the basis for adaptation of pension system, which initially emerged in highly developed economies. This one is talking about, because of these issues that we have raised, that is, these issues that were concerned, that was why the pension system was introduced, to take care of them, so that people will have Then another one says that this one is about the perception of the young generation about pension. He says that the younger generation view retirement as more of a lifestyle transition, a lifestyle change, rather than complete cessation or stoppage of work. That is the way they look at it. So you find that the young ones, and that is what is happening why people don't go to church. They think that all the money that they are earning is for them. So no other thing. It's individualistic, selfish, self-centered lifestyle. So when you earn money, it must be invested. You must save it, spend it on yourself. That is why some do not even think of having children. That's the way the new generation, that's what they think. It's a change in life, and you have to continue. Once you have money, you travel, you enjoy life, leisure. That is their thinking. Young people, particularly in the developed world. That is why you find a lot of people not putting money into things of God. Then this one is from the Bible. We talked about it already. The Lord said to Moses, this applies to the Levites, men 25 years old or more shall come to take part in the work at the tent of meeting. But at the age of 50, they must retire from their regular service and work no longer. They may assist their brothers in performing their duties at the tent of meeting, but they themselves must not do their work. This then is how to assign the responsibilities of the Levites. That is what I mentioned to you. So, points to know from all this one, we have mentioned them already, that the point to note in all these passages is that retirement is compulsory or voluntary stoppage of active routine and sometimes compulsory work, but not cessation of work. A retiree can continue to work during retirement. It is the retiree who finally decides when to cease working completely. You will say, I've done enough, so now I'll stop. So you will retire yourself, finally. There are common stages of retirement, even though all persons may not experience all. There are stages in retirement. The state of preparedness may also influence the experiences. Retirement as a major life change is characterized by various emotions. We've talked about it already. Then there are stages of retirement, the stages of retirement planning helps in gaining awareness of what you must expect during retirement, how to better manage and adjust to go through the various stages of life in retirement. Now, these stages in retirement planning also help in taking proactive steps to start planning for a fulfilling lifestyle in retirement. The stages are this one. We'll look through the stages. Pre-retirement, actual retirement, disenchantment stage, reorientation, and stability stage. We'll look at them quickly. Now, the pre-retirement stage, this is the stage before actual retirement. That is what we are all in, that retirement. This is the pre-retirement. So you have just started work, or you are work for some number of years. So it's pre-retirement. This is the stage. It involves imagining your life in retirement and planning for it. We look at some of the things. Where do you go to? Where are you retiring to? Which home? And what do you do? Your substitute, your income, your family network, things that you lose. You know, how do you provide for them as alternatives? That is this one. It is this time that you start taking those decisions, planning towards them. So this stage normally takes many years, such as right from the start of work or later during working life before the actual retirement. So that is why immediately you start work, preparation for retirement concerns you. Now, the period must be long enough to lay a sound foundation for a fulfilling retirement. 10 years, 15 years, you can't plan. 5 years, short, but you can still plan. But for me, in all things, that is why I told you from the very beginning that it is the Lord who takes care of you. So retirement with preparation for retirement with very important, because people prepare for retirement in Ghana here. When COVID occurred, what happened? And then in Ghana, debt restructuring. Haircut. People put their money in investment, bonds. They cannot get their returns, even to buy their medicine. Very important people, well-educated, industrialists, die. People, including Chief Justice professors, have to go to Ministry of Finance and say they give us our money. They have done all the preparation. That is why I say that preparation for retirement with faith. God factor, the faith factor is critical. So the period must be long enough so that you can plan. The focus the focus most of the time is on personal or career development and the financial planning aspect. Often, not much attention is paid to the emotional planning aspect and other major decisions. We have looked at some of them already. So it's not only saving. No, there are other things that you must plan. Emotional planning must be part of it. That is, the what will keep you happy and fulfill while in retirement must be planned. Making lifestyle decisions and ensuring balanced life. Managing stress, keeping healthy so as to retire in good financial and emotional well-being. Whilst you are working, you must be preparing for retirement. It does not only mean savings, your own lifestyle. How do you live? Healthy lifestyle, managing stress, balancing active work, exercise, so that you retire in good health. Because if you retire, you do all the planning, all that you concern you is money. You are saving, you're giving some money to Senate. You are doing this. That is all. You're not taking good care of yourself, your health. When you retire, you don't know what happened. You may be sick. You may not be able to enjoy anything in retirement. That money will be there, but it cannot save you. So it's a total package that you start with because you need those ones. Then financial planning. Bring that thing by. There's something there. Financial planning of your expected retirement income and expected expenditure to maintain a family. So you are planning your retirement income. But you must also know your expected expenditure when you are in retirement. If you do your expenses today, there are basic things that you need, that is your needs. Those ones you continue to spend on them so long as you live. So how much do you spend on them? And then in retirement, what other things you have to add? Funeral donation is one. Funeral donation is one. You think that you go and tell the people that now you are in retirement, so you will not pay the contribution of the donation. It's one of the financial planning. So it involves how much expenditure will I be incurring during retirement, and what will be the sources of income. So those type of matching must guide you. So today you know how much expenditure is all the things you spend now. Imagine that you are in retirement the next 40 years, next 30 years, next 50 years. What will be the likely expenditures that some are constant. So you put them down there then. So you have a fair idea. That is always very important that you do that thing in your mind. Let's go. A few years to the actual retirement is normally a time of anticipation and excitement if a good planning has been made. If you have prepared yourself, you know what you are retiring to. You know where you are home, where you are going to live. You know you have a health care. You know you have an alternative family social support. You know you have this. The retirement will be an anticipation and excitement for you because you are moving into another stage of life. Now you are a senior citizen. Now you are a consultant. You can speak with authority because you have seen it all and defend it. You are now a reservoir of knowledge that can guide society in your community, in the church, and wherever. So it is something like elevation. That is where you are done proper preparation. You know where you are going. But if it can be a time of worry and doubt and anxiety when there is no preparation, and not enough preparation, and there is likelihood of not having enough money during retirement, then it becomes trouble. So you are depressed even before you leave because of lack of preparation. Let's move on. Now then, the actual retirement. Those are the things you must be in your mind. Those are the things you must be thinking about. That is the pre-retirement. Then the actual retirement. This is also referred to as the honeymoon. Now you have you are retired. So we know we assume that you have done everything well. So you know where you are retiring to. You know everything that you are doing. But so these are no, so the following day you don't wake up. You are not supposed to go to any work. So you can sleep. You can relax. Take some relaxation, even if you want to go and start something, you want the period that you want to rest. So that is the honeymoon period. But that should not last. That's why it's honeymoon. Because you'll be bored. Your whole life has been active, waking up and doing something mentally and thinking, but physically fit. So for that brief period, that is the honeymoon. It will pass. You start feeling bored. So it is the official beginning of the retirement and can last from 1 to 2 years after retirement. Just depending upon where you find yourself. If you are not well prepared, after 1 month, you are in trouble already, you are bored. So it is a period of liberation with feelings of excitement, relief, and freedom from stress, responsibilities of day-to-day working life, workplace politics, or a difficult boss. Oh, today I'm leaving this man or this woman. But where are you going? That is the other question. Are you going, retiring to something, or where? Those are the issues. So the actual retirement, we're still talking about actual retirement. Some immediately reconnect with their families and friends because they are prepared. The support of where the alternatives are there, so you just activate. Spend some time on hobbies, traveling, or starting a new business. Now, let me talk about starting a new business. It is not where you start retirement that you go and start a new business. You plan. So you are retiring to it. It means that you have started it while you are working. You know the challenges involved. You know where to locate that business. You know how you are going to go about it. So you are retiring to do that. You start it before you leave. So you are just retiring to it. Not now that you are going to start it. Some people have funny ideas that when they retire, will go and do real estate. From where? You go and do some store, some provision store. Do you know what provision price is? Where are you going to locate that provision shop so people will patronize? A lot of it, that's what happens. Some people will collect their land sign and say, oh, we want to go and build and be collecting rent. How much rent? How much will it cost you to build that house? And how many years will you take to recoup what you put in? At what rent? At what rent? 2 bedrooms. That's why they have been worrying the tenants. They will take 2 years advance. They finish shopping within 1 month. And then we'll start harassing the people, finding fault. You have become terror. Terrorizing your tenants. So it is something that is here. So if you have not planned this one, now you are going to starting a new business. From where? Because this is the time you need cash flow. It is the retirement is the period that you need cash flow. And the continuous flow of it so you can live and do your things. So if you go and invest all the money in you are asset rich but cash poor. That is why some people, you realize some of them today, they'll buy a lot of land or properties. Then in retirement, they'll start selling. You sell this one, then they'll live on it. Then that one, when it's finished, then they'll take which one next. Okay. You see, the danger involved is you know how long you are going to live. You sell all, but you are still there. And you have nothing to sell. You have nothing to sell again, but you are still there. Then you become a pauper. You will say, hey, this man, you told about your stories, but now this is where you are. Why? No planning. Okay, so that then the other one, others also settle into a routine immediately with a plan in place. That's the way we are talking about. So you have a plan in place. So you just move on. Or they continue with activities that were part of their busy schedule during working life. So you develop some lifestyle. So you just walk in and you continue. You consider the work you are retiring from as just a piece of job. It is over. Move on. So whilst working, you can develop. Somebody said that there's a difference between a job and a work. A job is a specific thing that you do to earn a living. But a work is what you do continuously. It becomes your life, your culture, continuously. So whilst working, you can develop it. So even if you are a professional, this is just a job you are doing. It is over. I've ended this one. Continue with my work. That is this one. That's what is establishing. A lot of people, you do that. So if you are an accountant, you are working, by the time you finish, you have your audit firm or something firm that you are already working with. So you just move in. The following day, you carry your bag, you are there. So some also opt for rest and relaxation after years of demanding jobs that drain all their energy. So some people save, and the first thing they'll do is that after retirement, they'll travel. Go and stay somewhere for some time before they will. But even if you stay somewhere, you will come. You will come back home. So preparation is important. So those are the option things that people do during actual retirement. Then we'll talk about the disenchantment stage. That's stage 3. See, no matter the preparation, how much one might have been looking forward to, retirement is a major life change. It's a major life change that can bring stress as well as benefits. At this stage, the initial good feeling of permanent vacation, freedom, and liberation begin to wear off. So you feel a little bored. Instead of feeling free, relaxed, and fulfilled, one may feel bored, aimless, lonely, and isolated. A sense of disappointment and disillusionment may set in. This stage will come. Let's go. Some may grieve the loss of their old life. You are the boss. Everything command. Produce this. You bring fuel. They bring all this one. So now you are here. You have to go and buy this. You have to do this one yourself. You have to go and do this one yourself. So you feel that. Then you feel stressed about how they are going to fill the days. How long am I going to do the next 30 years, the next 40 years? Or worried about being at home all day and the toll on their spouse and feeling something missing in their life or feel useless. Those feelings will come. But whether or not this will have impact on you or not depends upon your preparation today. Okay. Some new retirees may experience mental health issues, such as depression and anxiety. Studies have linked retirement to decline in health. Because all of a sudden, very active, you just stop work and you are there. And you wake up and you are sitting down. You haven't planned anything. Because the essence of what we are going through is to know that these things will happen. So prepare. So when you start feeling this is what I might do, this is the solution, this is the way I must do this, This is the way I must do this. So you have knowledge and awareness. So you will not be a victim of any of this. Another study has shown that about 40% of retirees, especially in the first year of retirement, experience heart attack or stroke than those who keep working active. Because mental pressure, stress, you are thinking, you are worried, hey, this is who I am. Now all of a sudden, this is me. This is me. Know that this will come and this is the way to go. It is just a stage in life. That is why you retire, in preparation for retirement in faith. Ending work is not the end of life. I still have more to do. I still have life to impact. That kind of feeling, positive feeling, because you are retiring or preparing for retirement in faith, and you retired in faith. The faith factor is very important because it influences your thoughts. It helps you to know that this is what life is. And at every stage, this is what I must do. I'm still relevant. This is just a stage in life. That is important. Then these adverse feelings at this stage ought to be addressed. These feelings must be addressed. I try to... that is the reorientation stage. So all those feelings that you have, what do? You must reorient mind. This is the most challenging stage. It is period after the disappointment or feeling of loss of purpose. So you start evaluating the retirement experiences so far. You start thinking about it. What has happened this? What is this? What should be the option? How do I resolve this? How do I resolve it? So from the knowledge of the things that we are discussing, you should know already before you start. So when it's setting, even if somebody is going through, you should be able to talk to the person that is a normal thing to go through. So in some, the retirement brings about changes, some for the better, others unexpected or even difficult. One may feel a great burden has been lifted where the job was physically draining and unfulfilled. Where the job is enjoyed and found gratifying, or the retiree social life was built around the career, there can be serious challenges. You feel useless, you feel this, you feel that. But that is part of life. You are moving to a stage of life. You are strengthened because you know that you can continue with life. So reorientation, it is equally challenging where one sacrifices the family life or personal life for the sake of the job. Some people go through those ones. Or was forced to take early retirement or have health issues that limit what the retiree is able to do. Immediately you retire, you go through those type of things. It may be challenging. Now, the attitude to life can also influence response to retirement. What is your attitude to life? What is life? As a Christian, what is life? Does it mean stoppage of work means the end of life? Or that God will no longer take care of you? His promises will not be fulfilled in your life? Attitude to life can also influence response to retirement. A positive or a optimistic view of life can deal with change better than one prone to worrying about uncertainties of life. That is why you prepare for retirement in faith. Because some of them, you may not have the problems. You might have prepared, but the challenges will come. So what is your attitude? What is your attitude? That faith factor is important. Now, so you come to stability stage. All the things that you go through during that period, you need to reorient your thought, your life, and everything. Then comes a stability stage. This is the final stage. It may take some years to get to this stage after the start of initial retirement. At this stage, the retiree has adjusted. You know this is part of life. You have overcome the turbulent situation and you are moving on. So they are content and hopeful in retirement. They will experience less depression and anxiety. They have settled into a retirement lifestyle and doing things that make them happy and fulfilled. Retirees at this stage simply simplify their lives and live relaxing lifestyle. Then so that is the stability stage. So those are the stages that you go through. Retirement, the retirement phase, the disenchantment phase, and then reorientation, and then stability. So the experiences that you have, the ability to withstand all those stages depends upon your preparation, your mind about it, and know what to do. Now, how much do I need for retirement? This is the issue. Most of the time, when I'm talking about this, I don't devote my time talking about investing. When you do invest for 20 cities, over time you get this. That is not the only thing. It's a total package. If you go and do all those things and you don't understand the other aspect of it, you will still apply for a job when you when you are coming to the end of getting close to retirement. So how much do I need for retirement? Meeting financial needs in retirement is the most critical, and we tend to focus on financial planning to the neglect of emotional and other aspects of retirement planning. Now, financial education is important. It's supposed to be part of training and development of workers at the workplace. So while you start working, you must go through financial planning. You are taught how to manage money, how to do this, that is when it starts, not when you are close to retirement. So most of the time, I encourage workers, unions and trade unions to focus on some of these matters. When you do this, you empower your members. You will not only go and be negotiating, agitating, carrying placards, let's go on strike, because they will not give up. Let them understand how to manage money. Financial planning. Taking responsibility of themselves first. So when you agitate, you go on strike, you do all the things for them. Whatever comes, they will manage it well and plan for a good future. This is key. It is not done. So financial education is important now. Unfortunately, it does not exist, or it is limited in our part of the world. We don't do it. Such education will normally cover how to invest, when to invest, and types of investment instruments to invest in as the worker ages. Financial planning for individual involves an evaluation of the individual current financial resources, that is salary, to predict the future income and expenditures. So one must have a fair idea about future expenditures. I talk about it. How much you expect in that is rent, utilities, food, clothing, car maintenance if you have one, then health, then in Africa, funeral donations. Ghana. It's part of the planning. I don't want to add the others. Some of them you still continue to pay children's school fees of your family members, of your sisters, of your brothers, of your things. Those ones who are part of it. For a worker in full-time employment, the starting point for determining the financial needs in retirement is the evaluation of the existing pension system which the worker belongs to. That's the key thing. Which pension scheme do you belong to? The SNP scheme. So we are going to look at it. We evaluate it. That's the first thing. Is it enough? How much does it take care of me? And how much do I need? That is the most important thing. Now, the adequacy of the benefits payable under the pension system to meet the daily necessities of life, food, clothing, shelter, and the rest of them must be evaluated. Now, it is said that the current earnings of a worker whilst in active employment must be spread to cover financial needs in retirement. That's what we do here. We are working now, and as you earn some salary, every month the portion is taken and put into some investment for you for the future. That is what is done in our system. In other countries where they do pay as you go system, like in the UK, there is no dedicated fund of investment. What happens is that at the end of the month, contributions that are made from those who are active working now, they pay contribution. Those contributions are used to pay for those who are on retirement. And that cycle continues. So for that type of thing, you need young ones to continue to join the workforce, to continue to contribute so that they support those who are retiring, and then the process continues. So if you're having problem with the young people, the number of people who should continue to do the work, then the future people are hanging. That is why you bring a green lottery, recruiting people from all over through various schemes, so people come to enter the system and continue to support the system as a strategy. So that is the idea here. So what you are earning now, you are putting aside some into a scheme to take care of you in the future. Now, therefore, pension systems are designed to help the worker smoothing consumption throughout the whole life cycle. So whatever you are earning now, you are putting part aside to support your whole life. So that whilst you are working, you are using some, and when you retire, the cycle continues from what you saved. That's the process, smoothing consumption. So that is why I said that even if you are self-employed, the same thing applies to you. Whatever you are getting money now, that's what you are using to do all the things you are doing from your business. Can that continue? And how do you ensure that that process continues for the rest of your life? If you live up to 200 years old, that business you set up should be able to take care of you. then as a rule of thumb, it is said that an average person requires approximately between 70% to 80% of the pre-retirement income earning to maintain the same lifestyle in retirement. So whatever you are earning now, in retirement you need 70 to 80% of it to be able to take care of you properly. Now, that is what you need. That is the universal rule. Now, so you find that in the social security scheme that we have, and also under Cap 30, what they were doing was this. Under the old law, PNDC law 247, that started in 1991, in retirement doesn't make you rich. And social security or pension system, the aim is not to make you rich. The aim is just to replace part of your income to enable you continue to live a comfortable lifestyle. That is the aim. So under the old scheme, you earn a pension up to a maximum of 80%. That was what the old law was doing. So you retired, you earn pension right up to a maximum of 80% of the salary that you were contributing on. So when you are paying your pension, you realize that you are already 20% down. It's 80. That's from this rule. And under that rule, total pension is computed. 25% lump sum is given to you. The rest is paid in monthly installment until you die. That's the arrangement. Okay, so the 20%, you must find a way of doing that to earn that so that you have 100%. But the adequacy of that 80% is the issue. In Ghana, whilst you are working here, already you are all poor already, as far as the Senate, as far as the Senate scheme is concerned. You are all poor. And I'm going to explain it why. So you have to evaluate the pension system that you belong to right now and see where it can take you to. And that should inform you as to what you be looking for as an alternative to support. Now, everybody earns a salary. Your salary package includes a basic salary and some other things, allowances. Some people, it is 50-50. Some people, basic salary is 60%, allowance is 40%. Some people, basic salary is 50%, allowance is various proportions. But the salary on which you contribute now is the basic salary, not your total salary. To Senate first year and second year. And then you have another 16.5% that you can contribute into a 30-year scheme to enhance your future benefits. So that is the 3-tier scheme. Now, to be able to have a comfortable retirement in terms of income, we used to say that you must retire on a number of pillars of income. So the 3 tiers have introduced tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. As at last year, we started initially with 2 pillars. You must retire on 2 pillars. That's what we used to say, 2 pillars. Early 2000, 90s, 2000, you must retire on 2 pillars. That was the view. Now, it later changed to 3 pillars. Now, we talk about 7 pillars. I'll go through them quickly. Now, how adequate are the benefits under the 3-tier scheme? That's what I've been talking to you about. How adequate, how sufficient they are. If you earn full salary and then pension is based on only your basic, you are worse off. You are disadvantaged already. That is what I was explaining. It's not enough. That is the explanation that I was giving here. So, next slide. I've talked about the tier voluntary already. And, you have gone very fast. Come down. Let's finish with this one before. Next slide. No, there's something missing there. There's something missing. There's a slide that is, this pillar 1, pillar 2, pillar 3, pillar 5. And, okay, let's discuss this one. That is it. How much do I need in retirement? So I was talking about, initially we were talking about first pillar 1, pillar 2, that you retire on 2 pillars of income, and then that will be enough for you. And then later we said 3 pillars. That's why we have 3 tiers scheme. First tier compulsory, second tier compulsory, mandatory, that is it. And then Third year, your own effort or combination of your employer and employee to set up a provident fund. In which case, whatever the contributor the employer puts in is tax deductible for the employer also, and then also tax deductible for the employee. That means that it reduces your tax liabilities. Instead of paying into tax, you provide for your future. That is the advantage of doing the third year. Then the fourth is national health. When you are going on retirement, at that time you are aging, you need more health attention. So you must be sure of your health needs. So national health insurance comes in here. So if you belong to the first year, a portion of your money goes to national health insurance. So you are entitled to health care whilst working and also in retirement under the national health insurance. So your health care is provided for. That's pillar 4. And then pillar 5, we said that you must retire into a home. You must retire into a home. You either think about that, when I'm on retirement, I'll go and rent. Or I'll go back to the family house in the village. Or I'll build my own. Or you must have a plan. You must know what you are going to do. So what has been done is that under the pillar 5, under the 3-tier scheme, there's a provision that whilst you are working, you can use a future lump sum in the second tier or the third tier as collateral, as a security, to obtain a mortgage loan from a mortgage bank to acquire a house. So that contribution will not be touched. It's just a security. So you'll be paying small to the people. So in the event that something happens, you are not able to pay, then they can use part of it, whatever balance that is there to pay. That's the arrangement. So they have security that if we give them money to this man to go and buy his own house, there's security. That is that arrangement. So the new law, the Act 760s, made provision for all these 5. That's the arrangement that has been put under it. So you have first tier, which is compulsory. That we call a safety net. Every month at least you get something. Then the lump sum, second tier. When you collect that lump sum, you need to do something with it. 2 things. You can either go and invest it. You put it in a bond. That's what people do. I engaged one of the lecturers at UST, those days when we were doing public unification of public sector scheme. What they do is that they take monthly pension, but the bulk of lump sum that he takes, he puts it in a bond. So every 6 months he receives the interest. And that helps him. That this one is coming monthly. And they are comfortable. So the lump sum that you connect, that is not the time that you are going to use that lump sum to go and buy a block. Now I now want to build 2 bedrooms to rent. You can't even finish it. Because you must be eating as you are building. You are eating. so that is why those decisions, a lot of people have wasted their lump sums. Because at that time you need cash flow. So planning, this is how much I'm going to need during retirement. If I carry this money now that I'm doing 2 bedrooms, what will it come? How much income? How much rent? What will they take me to recoup? And how will I be living? The expenses. So you do those things properly before you decide. So the lump sum, the best, put it in some investment. So you are getting additional periodic income in addition to your monthly pension to continue to do. So you realize that if there's a business that you're already running, that is the time that you can use a part of it to invest into this one, so that this will also grow, to diversify your sources of income. So that is that arrangement there. That's why you use lump sum. That is why financial planning, teaching financial education is important. So you have all those ideas whilst you are working now. You know where to put investment, and then when you are on retirement, you know what to do. So those are the 5 provided under the law. Then the other 2, one of them, that is the World Bank prescription. The other 2 is that the number 6 is good drinking water. Wherever that you are going to locate. Is this the village that when you retire you go and stay there? Or your good drinking water? Because that's health. That is health. Good drinking water. Make sure that wherever that you are going to stay, good drinking water is available. And then number 7 is internet. Internet. Data. You need internet services. Wherever that you are, you must maintain your links, communication. We'll call you on the phone. A lot of these pension arrangements are now being digitalized. Digitization, that is the issue. People must keep in touch with the world, with your children, with the family, with your workplace, with the pension institution. When pensions are paid, you receive the alert, you know, the money is there. If there's a challenge, you know. People must call you. Today, even for purposes of pension, if you are about 75 years and we want to find out whether you are still alive, it is through digital arrangement. There is something that has been developed now. They say the facial recognition technique. You can take photograph of yourself, selfie, and send it. Then you will be validated. Oh, he's still alive. Then they'll continue to pay you pension. Wherever you are, you don't have to go to that office. So if you don't have internet services, you are in the bush, somewhere where these facilities are not available, you are in trouble. So it is no longer a luxury. It's a necessity in retirement. Internet services and having some phone to keep in touch with the rest of the world. So those are the 7 pillars that we thought. And you need money also to buy the to buy the data, so that you feel connected to the rest of the world. So those are the 7 things that you need to be looking at, that you must have. Maybe by the time you retire, there may be 10. we don't know. That is what we know now. That is what we know now. So let's look at the rest. What is the time now? Oh, okay. We have 10 minutes, 20 minutes more, and we are done. How adequate are the benefits and that? We have looked at these things already. We talked about them. Let's move on, David. Healthy aging. There are a lot of things that you must be doing whilst on the retirement. You must take good care of your retirement. Maybe you are advancing in age, so you need to take good care of yourself. Health conditions may become prevalent, so you must focus on maintaining good health and independence. So, easy access to healthcare and other necessary amenities is important. If something happens, where do I go? Who do I call? Those things you must know. Important. Then there's also the stage to manage stress and anxiety, depression. Those things they are another stage in life. Things are different. Attitude towards life, very important here. Then, so you must do away with a workplace. What depression away from workplace does not automatically eliminate stress. Whilst you are in retirement, you can still go through stress. That one will be emotional stress. You are thinking, you are worried. The children are not calling. They don't call because at the time you are boss. You are rainbow speaking. You are rainbow speaking. You don't interact, you don't engage them. Chat with the people, with them, know what they are thinking. Engage them. Do what you can. Some people, I don't know, Daddy, give me water. Or he's eating on the table. Daddy, can you pick water for me? You are there. Some people won't do it. A lot of people, they won't do it. You think they will shout on you, come and do it yourself. Come and take what kind of lazy thing is there. That's the way we relate to them. You are not building a network. They are not your friends. You are not their friends. And it's this time that you know. Let's go. So these things are important. It could be worry. It could be worry about managing financially, coping with declining health, adapting, and sometimes the cash is going down. Or you go and put the cash in some 2-bedroom, you haven't finished, it's there. Then the thinking, the depression, all kinds of things are coming. So but you must avoid all those things, so plan well. And then what must be done to keep you healthy? Realization, practice, meditation, exercise, those little things you have to do. Physical exercise, you get up, be active, things that you can do. Just walk, go and buy paper, go and do this, or go and do that, keep yourself active. And if you have a private business that you are managing, this is the time you occasionally visit, just to see how things are going, talk to the people. Not holding on. 86, you are still only the signatory to the bank account. Nobody can go and buy raw material because you cannot go. And let's go on. These are all the things you do. 30 minutes walk and stress and challenges. They have a good and beneficial because you have to put some exercise and stress. People doing some keep active. They are necessary, but not the excessive type at this stage. So when you manage those stress, you build resilience. You're able to solve problems. You stay focused and energetic. Exercise your brain. You have to contribute here. You have to go and preach in the church. You have to lead Bible studies. You have to go and do this. Talk to the youth on a particular subject matter. And things like that. So you are mentally alert and physically alert. Those things are important. Particularly when you are a Christian. It's not difficult to find work to do. It's not difficult if you are a Christian. It's not difficult to find things to do in the house of God to continue to support the word of God. It's easier than being hiding in some corner that you are not. So these are some of the things that you need to be doing. Do not take also life too easy. Some people say, oh, it's easy, so no, I'm retirement. No, be serious a little bit. No, be serious about things that you want to do. Be serious to see results. That one is important. All this one talk about aging. Don't be drinking. This is the time people will be drinking akweteshi. And those things this is not the time. Have enough sleep, good quality sleep, eat healthy, basic things that you can afford and make life very simple for yourself. That is, those are the things that you need to be doing. Then, all of these ones are about healthy aging, things that you develop and be doing. Challenging your brain games, structure your daily activities, when to meditate, when to read your Bible, when to take your meals, when to engage in your hobbies, when to read newspaper, when to visit. I went to Lome and I met some ladies. They are pensioners. 3 o'clock every day, they all gather to play spa competition, games, ludo. That's what they do. You do that for 1 hour and then they go back. Yeah, women, retirees in Lome. So those are the things that they do. So every day, you have some activity. So when to sleep and wake up, when to exercise and socialize. Those are key things that you need to do. Now, the final one is that let's assume that is what I told you, that this one. I'm ending with retirement in faith. For those who are spiritual, and do not forget your God. Listen, this is Isaiah 46, 5 and 4 and 5. Isaiah 46, verse 4 and 5. Listen, O house of Jacob, all you who remain of the house of Israel, you whom I have upheld since you were conceived, and have carried since your birth, even into your old age and gray hair, I am he. I am he who will sustain you. I have made you, and I will carry you. I will sustain you, and will rescue you. So it is the Lord. The last one that I have not told you, which I have said, is that after living a fulfilling life, planning everything, you must leave a legacy. The Bible says that a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. That is where you must plan your back. After I am no more, how do I expect matters behind me to happen? The Bible talks about a will, but we say that when you made a will, you are speaking from the grave. In other words, whatever that will happen where you are no more, you have dictated it. And everybody respects it. Nobody can change it. So things that you have that were dear to you, who do you want to give it to? Few things that are there. This is the way I want the children to live. This is what I want you to do. The business that I have investment in this company, I have this. This is the way I want it. The house that I built, this is the way I want you to continue. Because so long as they have a place that they all come together, the unity will continue to be there. So you make a will. Give this one to this. I want all of you to live in peace and do this ABC. I appoint you and you to be the leader. This one I give to my grandchildren. This one I give to all my children equally. This one I give to this. And sometimes you assign the reason why I did this. So you are, when I'm no more, you should bury me here. According to my religious belief, my Christian principle, this one should be done. All those things are there. Then you close the chapter. Making a will doesn't mean that you are going to die. You can make a will and live for the next 100 years. I know somebody, we did a will, he died after 30 years. And some of them, my uncle, one of them passed on. The will that were made, some of the cars that were even in the will, we sold them, he finished all of them before he died. And it's only what is left in the will that will be applied. So don't fear that when you make a will, there's nothing like that. It is just arranging. That is also biblical. Planning your back to make sure that things move on smoothly. So thank you very much for your opportunity. Now, we didn't ask questions. I didn't give you opportunity to ask questions. So if you are managing your time. So if you want to ask questions and if you agree that you ask question, I'll respond. We'll discuss the question quickly and let me go. Thank you.
Okay, so we'll take a few questions. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. Mine is a bit extreme, but I want to find out just on where you ended. I learned some countries, provision has made it in the law that at the end of the day you can will your properties to animals, non-living things. And I want to find out whether we have some provisions like that. I have some friends online who are not part of our faith. Yes, they believe there's nothing wrong with it. And also to the transgenders. Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much, Esquire. I retired 7 months ago. That's January this year. And I saw this notice on the platform of Fresh Oil sent by Mr. Kumadu, my pastor, Fresh Oil Chapel. So that is my situation. But I haven't received any benefit yet because I receive extension. When you're teaching normally in tertiary, and then you retire within the academic year, they give you the extension to the end of the academic year. So next month, August, just this week, from Friday, yeah, then I'll be thinking of my benefits. Yeah, so my point is, what to do actually with my investment is cash. I know very well how the inflation rate is, or maybe the status of the cities. It can just go anytime. So what exactly to do, how to invest? But when you were talking, getting to that point of investment, you mentioned only bond. So I want to know, is it only bond or there are other avenues I can invest my benefits into? Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for the presentation. I have two main concerns. One is on retirees who invest. Yet we have big cows that come to intervene and they lose all their investments. Is there any way to satisfy these people? The other one is about our trustees. You mentioned the pillars and that some of the tiers can be used for as collateral. However, this is rare. Or even the trustees, even if they offer this assistance, you realize that they don't use the tier 2, but rather the tier 3, which is so small, and you can hardly get something good out of it. Is there a way out? Is there a way out? Thank you.
Thank you. Let me answer those ones quickly so we can put the first one. You can decide. Yeah, you can decide to give your whatever that you have to anybody. It's free will, provided it is a lawful thing. But Philippians chapter 2, verse 3 and 4 says that do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Rather, in humility, value others above yourself, not looking to your own interest, but each of you to the interest of others. So if you are a Christian, you will be guided. Okay? So you can decide to go and donate all your things to a dog to look after some dog. That one. But if you are a Christian, retiring or planning to retire in faith, or who is ordered the way that you should live and order your life, you will know the best thing to do. Right? Those that are there, I've told you about them, their lifestyle, their thinking is one of the things that are reflected. They're only thinking about themselves. Selfish, self-centered attitude, whatever that they get is for them. The expansion of the gospel started from them. It's from the Arabs to them, and them to here. But today, nothing comes here from them because of their attitude. The chapels have been abandoned. Evangelism that people, family dedicated their life to support churches in various places, build chapels, support men of God. That has been their life, and that's why God blessed their parents, and they developed huge and mighty economies. Today, you all know what is going on in those economies. Foreigners are taking over. Non-Christians are taking over their countries. So those all have consequences. Now, there are various types of investments. What I mentioned, bond is just one of them. There are other investment instruments. Some have treasury bills. We have collective investments. There are different, even there's a gold type of instrument that are coming up now. They say because of inflationary condition, depreciation of the value of the cedi, when the investment is tied to value of gold, it is better. A lot of things are coming, but they are all risky. In the past, we talk about when you are doing those in the past, government securities were the best. They are the best because you don't have any problem with them. The risk was so low, so you put in the money in bonds. Every month your money is there because the state is there. And if treasury bills, every 3 months your money is there. That is why at this stage you talk about safe investment. You don't take too much risk. That is why when I'm talking about this, I don't go into hazardous investment. Things that you can, that has risk, at least minimal risk involved. That's why I mentioned the best government securities. They are still there. They are still the best. Other things, you can buy shares, but what is the guarantee that you get some dividend? I've invested in several companies, but the people, they collect the money that is generated, they share it among themselves. They sell in salaries and big things, and they don't give anything for dividend. So government securities are still the best. And so the monies you put in bonds or T-bills or the various types of the 152 days and all those type of things, at least you get your returns. Government is there, you get it. Even those that have been restructured, they will definitely get their money. It's the initial difficulty and the challenge that they put people in. So that's why I mentioned that. So at this stage, investing, security and return must be the key thing. Avoid risk as much as possible. There are various instruments, new ones that people will come and talk to you about. Even if it is the bank fixed deposits that you know you are taking some interest, the bank is there. But you must also be careful about which type of bank. Is it a solid bank? There are risks involved in all these. But for preparation for retirement, security of your investment is key. And to ensure that this money is there. Even if there's a challenge, I'll get my money. That is the guiding principle. Okay. Then the next one is about, you see, trustees were doing something? Tier 2. No, the mortgage thing that I talk about, the mortgage market is not developed. Okay, the mortgage market is not developed. I did a paper and I wrote term 1. I serve on the advisory board of Ministry of Works and Housing. We wanted to develop national housing scheme, and we proposed that, I did that paper, they proposed that there must be a national housing scheme, national housing fund must be established to enable pension funds buy the bonds and contribute. So we raise initial capital. Then we develop the housing market, the demand side. We channel those monies to a bank that will identify, so they'll give out mortgage loans to workers who belong to these schemes. So that once there's a ready market, then you realize that people who are in real estate, they can get money to develop, to build the houses. You can choose that your house should be built in particular location, while you have land there, or they do it, you buy. And then these things will then serve as collateral. They are just collateral, not to give out the money, to ensure that the money is paid. We did all those papers. They went, the president said we should go and see Ken. We went to Ken. Oh, this one is going to the well. I must not say it. I'll stop. At the end of the way, they took advantage of it, and I saw my paper be implemented somewhere else private, so I just... So that one is there, but we have not created the opportunity, the way that it should be implemented, so people will take advantage. Because when you start working now, you own a house, 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom somewhere, and then the deduction is going from your salary, 20 years, you finish payment. So at least that problem where you retire to, you know. That is it's a total package, you know, but that issue is about implementation. Any other question? Come in. Would control the process.
Thank you very much. Mine is not a question, but it's my takeaway. That the first one is the Proverbs 13:22 that you quoted, and then also that it's not too late to build a better retirement, but it calls for commitment. So I must require have a clear purpose, then also must be discipline and guidance of God that will lead me to have a better retirement. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Doc, thank you very much for the presentation.
Thank you, Bodin.
Sometimes people go in for early retirement or voluntary retirement. The person is maybe 55 or 50 something, and he decides to. Do you encourage that? Will you encourage that? And if you wouldn't encourage that, why?
The fact is that first, if you take early retirement, you lose some portion of your pension already. You lose it. And that is forever. Okay? So from 55, you can take voluntary pension, but the amount that you pay to you will be less full pension. And it is graduated up to 60. Okay, so at 55, when you take it, it is low. 56, a little high, and it graduates up to gets to 60. So you lose, you deny yourself full benefit of your pension investment that you have made. So that is the thing. But if you have a plan, that having sat down to analyze your financial situation and the options, it is better to take this money now because you want the lump sum. If I take it now, I'm doing a business. This is how it is progressing. I need capital. Maybe I do not want to borrow. So let me take it now, and then I'll put this one in here. So it will be based on planning. So if it is based on good plan, if you take that retirement, early retirement, and get the lump sum package and put it in your business, you focus on it, it will grow. And then you achieve what you lost here. So that can be that. But it will be based upon the plan, what you have before you. But just to wake up one day and say that you are that's what you regret it. You regret it. That is not the best.
Yeah. Last question, please.
No, go on. Go ahead, please. Go ahead. Please.
This is just a rumor, but having worked with SNIT, that's you.
Oh, go ahead.
If you can confirm some things for
No,
us.
go ahead.
There's a rumor that SNIT is now running like a Ponzi scheme, kind of. And it's so bad that by the time people my age will get there, the benefits will be way too small. So if possible, we should even tell our employers to reduce the contribution so that we put it in other things, especially the voluntary one. Because they seem to be doing well. So if you can just gist us a bit or confirm this.
Thank you very much. That's a very good contribution. Now, the problem is that it is a perception that has been created as a result of improper governance. Trustees and improper governance due to lack of knowledge. That is the situation. We have challenges in 1991 to 2000. Three-tier pension was something that was suggested and pushed by workers. One of the challenges was that Senate was let loose. There was no control. There was no regulation. There was nobody keeping an eye on what they were doing. So there's a need for regulation. The law has been passed. There are various things that they are supposed to do, including when people are appointed onto the board. Initially, they were called board of directors, but we changed that thing to be trustees. A trustee is somebody that has been appointed to be in charge of a property of which he can also be a beneficiary for the benefits of all the other people into the future. So you have rules that guys, you have only duties. You don't have a right as a trustee. And they are stringent. If you cause a loss, you pay it from your pocket. Those rules are rules that must be enforced. The trustees are supposed to be educated. When you are appointed by the president as board members, you are supposed to be taken through training to understand the principle of trust law that applies to pensions. So you know what type of decision to do. So you not go and listen to a politician and come there to come and say something. No, that's not your duty. Unfortunately, the regulatory aspect of the law has not been enforced. MPRA, that has the power to do it, has challenges. I don't know how to say other things because it is the world, so I have to be careful. A lot of things. For the past 7 years, I went through some challenges. So the process that we put in place for the capacity to be built for these things to be happening so that the workers will know what is going on. That has been curtailed, but we've started it again. We'll bounce it. So the world will know, all of you will know how sin is supposed to be managed. It must be transparent. You must know how much you are entitled to. You must know how the funds are being invested. And there must be open stakeholder meeting annually where people will question. Those are things that are supposed to be done. They are not being done. So it is lack of education. And so I agree with you it's a perception. I remember the civil servants and other people, they describe it as a atai. I'm robber. Yes, it was all over. They pasted posters all over. It is all due to lack of enforcement of the rules, lack of transparency to manage and to let the public know. That is basically the problems. But the principles upon which the scheme was established are there, but some of them are also not being enforced because of this same problem. Somebody must keep an eye. That somebody is lacking. That somebody has the power, but it's not yet being done. And that has to be enforced. So it is not a Ponzi scheme. It is one of the best schemes in Africa. A lot of countries come to learn from us the way that we do it. They learn, they come to learn. I have supported other countries in their pension reforms. They go there, study the law. Some came here, 10 MPs from one country, for example, were here for 10 days with their chief executive. I had to arrange a training program for them together with people from the industry to come and do presentations. I went to their country, went through the process before they did what they have to do. So we have people here to do the work, but unfortunately, the politics involved, appointing politicians to head a pension institution that is supposed to be interdisciplinarily and professional. That is the way it's supposed to go. It's a virtually provision of financial services. And you need competence, and people who understand it's not politics. Unfortunately, that is what it has become. And that is the difficulty, and that is why people have those perceptions. Unfortunately, that should not be the case. So we'll get there. And you know, everybody is entitled to know what is going on there, to understand the basics. Okay, now, yes. Is there any, that's the end. Let me tell you this one too. How do you calculate your pension? David, just project that picture for them to see and then we end it. How do you determine your Senate pension? You know, Senate pension depends upon the number of years of membership contribution. And then that is the number of years you have served and your salary level. Those two things determine your pension. So if you work for 15 years, you are entitled to a percentage of pension right, up to a maximum of 60. Then the salary, you pick the 36 highest salaries of your working life. In other words, most of the time it's getting to the close of your working life that you earn the highest salaries. So 3 best years of your salary. First year it was 48,000 or 50,000 or 60,000. Those were the last ones. You pick the 3 and find the average, divide them by 3. And then you multiply that by get the table. You multiply that by your pension right. That is the number of years you have been a member will give you a pension right. So if it is 15 years, you have contributed for 15 years, this is the total pension right that you have. So you multiply this by the average of the 3 best years salary. Let's say that the first best is 60,000. Second is 55,000. Then the third is 52,000. So add these 3 together, divide it by 3. That is the average of your 3 best years. And then let's say that you have worked for 15 years. This is the pension right. So you multiply the 37.5% against the average, divided by 12. Then you get your monthly pension. Do you understand? Really, there's something. So let's take this one. Let's say that you have been a member for, that will give us 25 years. Bring the table. Bring the table. 25 years. Let's say that you are working for 25 years. So that ends you 48.75% pension right. Okay, roll. So 25 years. So 25 years give you this percentage of pension right. And then let's say that the average of your 3 best years salary is 48,000. Okay, so to get your monthly pension, you do this calculation. The percent, this one times the average of the salary divided by 12. So if you do this, then your monthly pension will be this one. That's all. So just know the number of years, and then that gives you a pension right. then you estimate the average of a 3 best year salary. So you multiply by that, divided by 12. Then you get your monthly pension. That is all. Sorry? Yes, yes.
Yes, because of the calculation, I have a small question.
Yes.
Okay, so you work for however number of years.
Yes.
And then you take your statement and realize that some months are missing that
Okay,
you are
okay.
supposed not to have contributed.
Okay.
But you worked.
Yes.
In my particular case, I was working with the government sector at the time. I can't trace any pay slip. I don't know how. And it's not continuous. In a particular
There are
year,
gaps. There are gaps.
2 gaps. In another 3 years later, another gap. How do I get them?
You go back to you have to fill the gaps. You have to help them to fill the gaps.
Yes.
You know, we all started from non-computer to where we are today.
Yeah.
And so what you had at the time was what you put in. So it's not a peculiar. It's something that happens to a lot of people. So where you worked, the office that you worked, you need evidence from there that you were at this place from this period to this period. And then those are the information that you send there, and then they'll fill in the hole. That is what they do. They'll fill the gap before they pay you. But let me tell you that the formula here is just estimated. We call it estimated pension. That's what you do. You estimate your pension. This is not the actual one. Because the actual one will be based on live data that is you have there. Sometimes there may be gaps. And it is when you are going to be paid that they'll look at it, and if there's a gap, they'll call you. That there's a gap here. Can you help us to fill it? You do all that. So the actual pension is when all is over. So this is just an estimate to have an idea that, this is how it is computed. That is all. That's what the purpose. That's what this one says. So your case can be resolved. Yes. So you just get to the office where you work precisely. You give all the information. If you have the appointment letter that you can find somewhere, or where you worked, you just get basic information, and then you verify, and then you capture it, and then you'll be paid the right amount. Okay.
Yes. Maybe the last question. Yeah, it is related to what you have just said.
Okay.
I received my SNI statement, and the best 3 months used, and the pension, the monthly pension was already there.
Okay.
Though I'm not too comfortable with what is there. But we were waiting for an increment that was supposed to be paid last year. The government couldn't pay, but we received a notice that we paid this year. So SNI stopped updating my accounts because I'm 60.
Okay.
Yes. So they told me that anything, once you are 60, anything that can, because I'm still receiving salary because I'm on an extension. Just anything after 60, no, it doesn't work. So out of the increment that we are expecting, it is before 60.
Yeah.
So obviously there is something that to add up to my contribution, and that will improve my monthly pension too.
Yeah.
So, but it stopped updating my accounts.
That has to be done because you earn those salaries before 60.
Exactly.
So those must be considered, must be added.
So I must go back.
You must go back and draw their attention.
Okay.
So that there will be a recomputation.
Thank you very
In
much.
the past, we were not doing some of the things that they are doing now because if you know you see, this scheme that we're running is a risky scheme. A lot of countries have stopped. They have moved from defined benefit to defined contribution schemes, where it is just lump sum. This scheme that SNIT is running is risky, and it is continuous surplus of funds available to continue to invest that supports it. You know, so in the past, I know there's no rule that forces you to stop taking contribution at 60. At 60, and once you reach the maximum, whatever contribution that you put in earns you no pension right, but it inures to the benefit of the scheme because it is a pool of funds that is created. Okay? There are places people don't understand it. They have just come there to preside, and they make these rules. This makes sense. A defined contribution scheme needs surplus funds because it's based on solidarity. People who are earning better coming in to support the others. It's a whole complex of principles. So if you are 60 and you are contributing, I don't retire you. Once you get a maximum contribution, it ends there, but your money will come into the pool. Because after 60, if you lease for the next 40 years, SNIT must continue to pay you. So it doesn't make sense. They don't understand it. Just politicians, appoint them to come and stay there. Anyway. That is the... Sorry? Okay.
Sir,
we have to end in some way. So.
okay, maybe the last one. Okay. From the legal point of view, can there be any, looking at how fragile the current scheme is, can there be any law to repeal this existing one that will affect the beneficiary or the contributors now?
It will be difficult because people have accrue rights. That's the difficulty with changing pensions. It becomes legally complex. People have accrued rights. Yeah. So if you are going to change it, what are you going to do? They have accrued rights under this one. You see, so what we need to is talk about sustainability. I did not say all that. You see, there are decisions that must be made to improve the scheme, not to close it. Now, the contribution arrangement that we have here is what we call the scale premium method of financing. The scale premium method of financing is where, at the beginning of establishing the scheme, you decide on the contribution rate, considering various factors. That if every worker contributes so much, and we put it in a pool and invest, we can continue to finance this scheme for the next 50 years. That is the basis upon which the scheme was started in 1991. And by 2002, ILO did the actuarial evaluation and established that we can still achieve the 2050. Before, at 2050, then you break even, where contribution and investment income equals to expenditure. And getting to that time, you need to reset the contribution rate to take you into the next phase. That is how it is done. So you respect the principle and move along. Those things are being thrown away because they don't understand it. And taking some kind of decision, we have taken portion of the contribution 2.5% to national health insurance, which is good, to take care of health care. We have also ceded 5% to the second tier. But in taking those decisions involving an existing pension scheme, social insurance scheme, you must first do an actuarial evaluation of the scheme, that this is the decision we want to take. What will be the impact? Before you make the decision. We didn't do it. We raised the attention at the first time that if you take 2.5%, we have not, let's do actuarial evaluation. They said no. They took it. And then they provided in the law that in the event that SNIT have difficulty paying pension, government will intervene and provide the balance. That is in the law. You know, but when we are taking the 5% also to the second tier, the same issue, we raised that same issue. We were rushing with the one to him, so it was implemented without determining the actual impact on the scheme. You understand? So these things are issues that we have to address. You have to discuss. So all that we need to do is to look at how do we reset it? What have been the challenges? Which of the principles have we not respected? And how do we reset it so that it will be on, go take beyond 250. When we get to 250, we take the corrective action and we roll into the next. So that is how it operates. All right? Okay.
Let's do it better. Thank you very much.